The multitasking president, he is at it again. He started his morning with a new Board of Peace meeting, and that Board of Peace is meant to rebuild Gaza. President Trump was out in Rome, Georgia later in the day, giving a speech on his affordability tour. Watch here.
Adding $9 trillion in value to your savings. I added $9 trillion, and your retirement accounts and 401ks are at the highest level they've ever been. And then I have to listen to the fake news talking about affordability, affordability. Do you notice, what word have you not heard over the last 2 weeks? Affordability. Because I've won affordability. I had to go out and talk about it. But we inherited a mess. We inherited the worst inflation in history.
And as President Trump sharpens his affordability pitch, the Democrats giving a preview of their midterm plan. It's a rather potty-mouthed plan. The Lieutenant Governor of Illinois, Juliana Stratton, is running for retiring Senator Dick Durbin's seat. And she just released the first ad of her campaign, where the message to the voters is cursing out the president here.
Trump. Vote Juliana.
They said it, not me.
Trump.
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 Vote Juliana.
The worst thing for me, it's the beeps. I can't stand it in my ear. It's too loud. Jessica, I don't know where you want to start, but I want to start with the ad, because I do think that it's almost like a tipping point. So the midterms, it's well underway. The president's obviously giving a speech, even if he doesn't seem to really want to give a speech about affordability. He's going in there and he's doing it in Rome, Georgia. And then you have an ad like this that I think hurts the Democrats in the long run, but does it energize them more?
I'm not sure. I mean, it's a crowded field at this point. Governor Pritzker is backing his lieutenant governor. He's in the end of the ad, standing there with her. I would have probably talked about my achievements in office and my story of why I got into politics. I believe she was a caretaker for her mother, and it made her want to make life better for the average person who struggles, et cetera. So I perhaps would not have done the F Trump ad myself. It gets attention. It's going to get a lot of likes and hits and things like that. In terms of the I want affordability speech, which is being cut up right now and put in every Democrat's ad, since it's obviously in great denial of the reality on the ground, the president is doing what it sounds like Tony Fabrizio previewed in that big GOP midterm strategy meeting was going to happen. So he basically is trying to control the foot soldiers and admitting that Donald Trump is going to go out there and do whatever he wants. But the fact that he says more Americans are working today than in the history of our country, when we just saw 1 million jobs revision down for 2025, it was a quote unquote, strong jobs number, 155,000, 161,000, still far below where Biden was. I don't think it is going to get it done. And he's in Georgia bragging about the results, and just some results, real ones, I guess I should say, for Georgia. Lost 80,000 jobs last year since Trump took office. 27 family farms have filed for bankruptcy. 500,000 are going to lose their health care coverage without the ACA subsidy extension, which he doesn't back. And the premiums are going to double for 1.4 million Georgians. John Ossoff is running a very strong campaign in Georgia. There is a reason that we have 2 Democratic senators there, and it's because of Donald Trump. And I don't think he's making things any better.
Well, going there is one of the things that you can do, Kayleigh. So that's also a tell in terms of what either Fabrizio or James Blair at the White House is saying. This is where we need to be, at least on this day. Your thoughts about his speech this afternoon on affordability?
I think he's doing what he should do, which is focusing on the economy. The economy is a tough beast, right? Because people have to feel it. And you can tout the numbers, and you should tout the numbers. But you also have to say, Biden badly broke this, and we are fixing it, and we have the proven solution. Here's how we have the proven solution. When you look at 2.4% inflation, that has come way down. Core inflation at the lowest point it's been in 5 years. When you look at earnings outpacing inflation, you see people have gained $1,400 in their paycheck. You say that they lost, it was $3,000 under Biden. We've made progress, and finally prices are catching up to inflation, and there's data to support that. And I think this year they have done great good in deregulating and the tax cuts and the big, beautiful bill. And there's going to be a tailwind behind the Trump economy that people will start to feel, and I think will help during the midterm. Simultaneously, while he's doing foreign policy, I think it's been very smart keeping the cameras out of the White House, away from the Netanyahu meeting, away from the Machado meeting, putting the focus domestically rather than internationally. internationally. Now, Iran, we'll see how that goes. That could take away from the economy, but a big foreign policy win's never a bad thing. The one thing I will say about the Susie Wiles meeting, it was interesting. Some of the policies that they say work are policies that I think would put a huge tailwind behind Donald Trump. If you partnered with Elizabeth Warren on credit card interest rates, if you partnered with, let's say, Mark Cuban, who wants to break up these healthcare companies, some of these more populist, not necessarily doctrinal conservative viewpoints, that puts the same tailwind behind you that no tax on tips did in the last election, that no tax on overtime. If you get a few of those populist wins, I really think you could break the historical trajectory of the party holding the White House losing in the midterms.
Wow, my free market heart just like I'm gonna throw up. Jesse, we have missed you.
I
And
don't
your
believe
wisdom. Yeah, Greg.
My
in
wisdom,
particular.
now I know it's not
Greg
true.
really missed you, and we
Yeah.
are dying to hear what you think.
Well, Jessica doesn't seem like that confident. And she's saying like, oh, this is so terrible. We're going to clean up in the midterms. The way you're talking doesn't sound like you think you're going to win. Inflation's at 2.4%, Jessica. More Americans are working now than ever before in the history of the country.
Literally 1 million less than last year.
Okay, well then last year was a record. Donald Trump is a fantastic salesman, and this is what he did. He went around the world and he sold the world's greatest product, which is America. And that's, for instance, what the Japanese trade deal was, promising a $500 billion investment in this country. And that's why he was in Georgia today. So this plant makes diamond cutters. You need them to build semiconductors. You think I knew that? I had no idea. But you go to an event like this and you learn something. And we can't have this stuff made in China. It has to be made in America. So it's a national security issue. And it brings in, I think it's a $36 billion investment. You got a oil export terminal in Texas, and then you got a natural gas pipeline in Ohio, and then a $600 million investment in Georgia. This all would not be possible if it wasn't for the tariff. Only 15%. It's like nothing. It's like pennies on the dollar.
Who pays
to the
for
Japanese.
tariffs?
It's like pennies on the dollar, Jessica. So
pays
listen,
for
let me
tariffs?
just ask you this question. If you guys get in charge, do you want to repeal the Japanese trade deal? You're saying John Ossoff, or however you pronounce this stupid guy's name, the senator running for re-election in Georgia,
wrong with you?
he's going to say, Supreme Court, please repeal the $600 million investment in this high-tech manufacturing plant in my state. Of course not,
Well,
Jessica.
that's why Donald Trump
You just have to let him
for all
sell.
the Chips and Science Act investment.
Let the man cook. It'll all work out for all of
Chef
us.
Trump,
And then you
carry
can be
on.
happy.
Dems
Okay,
keep
Greg,
running the ads.
either affordability or the new ad by the Democrat in Illinois saying all the bleeps.
I think that new ad echoed my theory that I introduced last week that Jesse missed, so I'll introduce it again. That Trump leads with positives, the Democrats respond with F Trump. So again, you have a party of good thoughts versus a party of bad thoughts. And it shows you where both lead. Nobody likes that ad. One side, of course, when you hear Trump talking about things, whether it's gas being $2.70 a gallon in Georgia, or that they found 132 missing kids that were missing under Biden, or that ICE has taken 43,000 criminals off the street. These are all positives. That leads you to a feeling of hope and promise. But when somebody says F Trump, it leads you to anger and resentment, which only feeds on itself over and over. No one benefits from it. It's like I said it before. Nobody commits acts of violence from thinking good thoughts. This is why the majority of political motivated crime comes from the left and not the right. It's one thing. They are now the bad thought party, and it presents a challenge to thoughtful Democrats. How should you respond if you're on the negative side of this grid, meaning that you can't feel good when Trump does good things because that concession hurts your ego, but you don't want to keep feeling bad because where does that lead you? The negative thoughts take over, you get Trump derangement syndrome, you move to Ireland, or you commit acts of violence, you attack Teslas, and you don't know why, or you leave your kids at home and block ICE. These are all stemming from the bad thought party. This is not helpful. I can look at the Democrats and I can say, I like this idea. I like that idea. I like Dan Lurie now. I mean, Dan Lurie, we pointed this out. This guy is introducing a way to get drug use off the streets of San Francisco. He's breaking the seal for other Democrats to follow suit. He's going to change the city, and in 2028, he'll be your nominee because he's not acting like a progressive woke Democrat, and he finally had the guts to do it. Not to say we don't have tangible problems here, but all those problems that we have, whether it's debt, fraud, or corruption, is based on the fact that the Democrats rejected oversight. They had rejected oversight on economy, on the border, crime, budgets, fraud. Every time we try to show them the score, they call it oppressive because it reveals their incompetence in every one of these areas. So I'll shut up now. I'm really excited, Dana. Do you know why?
Why?
New toilet seat in the men's room.
I think I was the first to use it.
Yeah, was it exciting?
It's not a toilet seat in the men's room.
Yeah, it's a
for all of us.
gender-neutral bathroom.
Yes.
But you know it's new because when you lift it up and lift it down, it's very stiff.
Yeah.
Wait.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.